Hey guys, hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So first of all, I would like to wish all of you all the very best for your CSIR NET exam because this is going to be, I think, our last video before your CSIR NET exam. So I just want to take this moment to wish you all the best for the exam. All right, remember that you all have potential, you all have studied a lot for this exam, and now you just have to execute whatever you have done. Okay, whatever you have prepared, whatever you have studied, you just have to execute that into the exam. All right, so having said that, this video is especially for those who have not given this exam anytime earlier, and this is about all the basic things, all some of the things which you should know. I would also share some of my tips with you all in this particular video so that just before the exam you get to know all the things about it. This video is all about knowing the CSIR NET exam because I believe that whenever you are going to face something for the first time, it's very important to know about it as much as possible. All right, so without wasting any time, let's continue with our video. So first of all, I'll take some very frequently asked questions which I get almost all the times before the CSIR NET exam. So I will just try to answer all of those frequently asked questions over here, right? The first question is that is calculator allowed in the exam? So the answer is no. Okay, there is no calculator allowed, no physical calculator, and neither any digital calculator is provided in your CSIR NET exam for chemical sciences. Okay, for physical sciences, I guess they provide calculator, but for chemical sciences, since the channel is for chemistry, so I'll be talking more about the chemistry people. So yeah, for chemical sciences, there is no calculator allowed. So whatever calculation will be there, you have to do manually. You will be provided with a rough sheet, so you have to use that rough sheet or a rough, basically rough like booklet. So that you have to use to do all the like calculations and all, and you should carry your own pen for that. So make sure you carry one pen along with you so that you can do all the rough work over there. Calculator is not going to be provided, but any like value which will be needed for that question, let's say log 5 or log 10 value is needed, so they will give that value in the hint or in the question itself. They'll give that like information over there. The second very important thing is that how many questions one can attempt. I hope this is, most of you already know this, but let me just clear this up, that in part A you get 20 questions in total, but out of those 20 you only have to attempt 15. Okay, so you only have to attempt 15 questions out of 20. In part B there are total 40 questions. Out of 40 you only have to attempt 35 questions. In part C, out of 60, so there are total 60 questions. Out of 60 you only have to attempt 25 questions. Remember that part A is a 2-marker question, part B is also 2-marker questions, whereas part C are 4-marker question. One more thing which people ask, that whether they have to do these many questions only or they can do less than that. Of course you can do less than that. If let's say in part A you are able to do only 10 questions, do only 10. It's not mandatory to do all 15, but you cannot do more than 15. Okay, I guess you understood. You have to do 15 or less than 15 questions, but you cannot do more than 15 questions. The mouse will not work, or you won't be able to click on the 16th answer. Okay, and if somehow if you are able to click also, in that case that will not be evaluated, means the first 15 questions are only going to be evaluated. So make sure that you don't do excess questions. You only can do the number of questions which are allowed. Also you can do less than them. So if let's say in part B there are 35 questions which you can do, but if let's say you only know 30 questions, you don't know 35, you can skip, you can go to part C. Only 30 questions you can do in part B, right? So that is one thing which is a lot of misconception is there, so that should be very much clear to you. How the questions, how you can go to from one question to other, that also I will show, so just hold on for that. Okay, the next thing is that there are some important items which you actually have to carry along with you when you are going for the exam. The first thing is your admit card. Okay, so you should have a admit card printout. It's not mandatory to get it in the color form. Black and white printout is also like fine, but it is recommended to get a color print. If you are going for the first time and want to get it color printed, yes you can. And if you will take a black and white one, nobody is going to judge you for that, so you can take black and white print as well. Second thing this time they have included is the undertaking form. So along with your admit card, when you print the admit card, there are 3 pages in the admit card. On the second page itself, there is an undertaking form, so you have to print that out also. In the undertaking form, you have to you have to paste your photograph. Okay, so do that already. So paste your photograph, and you also have to give left thumb impression. Okay, now people were asking me ki whether that thumb impression has to be vertical or that has to be horizontal. See, it depends the space. Okay, how big your thumb is. If your thumb is quite bigger, it's not getting fit in that place, do it horizontally. And if it is getting fit, do it vertically. It's all up to you. Okay, so that is nothing to be asked. Okay, next is your valid ID proof. So your ID card should be there, be it Aadhaar card, be it PAN card, be it driving license. So anything which is a valid ID proof, keep it along with you. Original. Okay, this has to be original. Along with that, you have to keep at least 2 passport size photographs. Okay, along with that, because you have to also paste it in the attendance sheet over there. So keep a passport size photograph with you. It is recommended that the same photograph which you have uploaded in the form, try to keep the same photograph. Many of you might not be having same photograph, so you might be having the soft copy of that, right, which you uploaded. So just go to nearby studio or nearby photo shop where they print photos and all, and ask them. They will give you the more copies of that. Okay, so that thing you have to carry. Second, next thing is your black or blue pen for your rough work. So that pen you have to keep along with you for the rough work. As I told you in the previous slide itself, that you will not be allowed with the, you will not be provided with the calculators you have to do, or you have to solve the questions and all. So that for that you will be given rough sheet, and to solve in that rough sheet you need pen, right? So for that you have to keep it. Then you will be allowed to take a water bottle. Now this is optional. If you want to carry, you can carry it. It's not mandatory, but these things are mandatory. Okay, from here till here, these are mandatory things. These things you have to carry. But yeah, water bottle, it's an optional thing. If you want, if you think that yes, you will feel thirsty, you can keep it along with you. And since it is COVID time, so it is recommended that you should have your personal water bottle and a sanitizer bottle. So if you have, or if you want to carry it, you can carry. These 2 things are optional. Now next thing is some frequently asked questions about exam interface. So I'm going to show you that how the exam interface is going to look, how the interface will look like when you are going to sit in the exam. Similar, like it is going to look something similar to what you have experienced in the gate also. So let me show you that how it is going to look, and I'll also explain you that which part tells you what. Okay, so this is somehow how your interface is going to look when you are going to sit in the exam. Here will be your photograph, your name, your exam, then your subject name, and this is going to be the timer. There will be quite few more advancement over here when you are going to sit in the final exam. There will also be a section wise division which you can actually change from here. That section will be here. Okay, so you can change from section 1 to section like section A means part A to part B to part C. So that you can do over here. Question will be displayed on the screen something like this, and you will be having 4 options here, and you will be having here options like save and exit, save and next, then clear the answer, then save and mark for review, and mark for review and next. Okay, now these are the color codes over here. It is shown that if something looks white in color, that means you have not visited that question. If something looks red in color, that means you have visited that question already, but you have not answered that question. If something is green in color, that means you have answered that question. If something is purple in color, that means you have marked it for review. And if something is purple with a green dot, that means you have answered and you have also marked for review. I'll show you each of the things one by one. So let's say first question. This is the question which is there from your general aptitude part. I don't know the answer of it, so I will just go to the next question. Now going to the next question, there are various ways of doing it. First is just by clicking on this next button. Okay, if you click on this next button, you can go to the next page. Or the second thing is you can click over here on question number 2, you can directly go to question number 2. So either you can press on this next, then you will be taken to question number 2 here now. Now this is question number 2. Here you have again choices. So first question is red in color, that means I have not answered that question. Okay, let's say in question number 2 I know the answer. Let's say it is option number 1, so I have answered it. and I want to save this answer, means I have answered this question. Now I want to go to the next. Now don't go to the next by clicking this. You have to save and next. Then only this answer will be saved. Okay, so I'm going to save and next. So as you can see, this shows green in color. That means the second question I have already answered and I am confident about that answer. Let's say the third question, I don't know much about it, but I have some idea of it. So I will mark this for review for now, and later on I will come and I will recheck. So you have this fourth option now, mark for review and next. So I will mark for review and next. So now I am on question number 4, and in question number 3 it is showing with purple color. That means that this question has been marked for review but has not been answered. Okay, so till now how many questions I have answered? I have only answered one question, which is green in color. Now let's say this question I know the answer, but I am also not quite clear about it. I am thinking that option number 3 is correct, but I want to reevaluate later on. So I will do save and mark for review. So when I click save and mark for review, that is now purple with green dot. That means I have answered the question and also marked for review. Means I have answered in that question, but I was not confident. So I went to the next question. But now how many out of 4 questions, how many questions did I answered? So I actually answered 2 questions. If right now if I submit, so the CSIR is going to record 2 answers. Which are those? Question number 2 and question number 4. You can see here it says, right, that answer and marked for review, and in bracket it says that it will be considered for evaluation. Means whenever the marking is going to be given, this question which has that color code is going to be evaluated. Okay, so like that you have to go one by one, and you have to see the question, you have to look upon, and then you have to do. One more thing I have to tell you, that let's say you marked option number 3, but then you thought, okay, no, option 3 is not correct. Actually option 1 is correct. So here is the option to clear. So if I clear this, my selection is going to go, and I will select option number 1. Or there is a easy way of that. Let's say you clicked on option 1, but you think no, option is not correct, option 3 was correct only. So again you will just click on option 3, option 1 will go out of, like, automatically it will go, and option 3 will be there. Okay, but let's say you are thinking no, I will not take risk on this question, then you should clear this. Okay, and then you should go to the next question. Means you should go to the next question like this. Okay, so 5th question you have not answered, like that it will be. So clear will be used to clear the answer. Okay, that's what it is. So save and next to save your question, clear to clear the whatever choice you have done. Save and mark for review to save the question, save the option which you have marked, and also to reevaluate it later on. And mark for review if you are confused about a question and want to check that later on. Okay, so let's say after doing the whole test, you will see that okay, third question was marked for review. So you can directly come to question number 3 by clicking here, that this was question number 3 which I kept for mark for review. So now I should recheck this question or try to solve this. Okay, so that's what it is. Okay, so this is how the interface works, and at the end of the exam you just have to press submit over here, and then it will show that how many questions you have answered, how many questions you have not answered, and how many questions you have marked for review, and answered and marked for review how many you have done. Okay, so answered and marked for review will be done, will be evaluated, and answered will be evaluated. Both of them are going to be evaluated. Okay, so are you sure you want to submit for final marking? No changes will be allowed after submission. You will say yes. Okay, so how it will be done. Now view result, it shows over here because it's a mock test, but in actual like CSIR NET exam you won't get this. After submitting you will be done with your exam. All right, so this is how the interface looks like. I hope like this will be helpful. All right, at the end, just few very important tips from my side. Okay, these are just some tips which I want to share with all of you. First thing is that start from the section which you are most comfortable about. Now many people are comfortable with part A, many people are comfortable with part C questions. So it's all about you. Okay, start from the section in which you are most comfortable about. One personal advice I will give you, that always prefer section C over section B. Okay, so if you are thinking to start from the chemistry portion and want to do part A at the end, in that case start from section C. First do your section C and then do section B. Okay, divide your time among section A, B and C in such a way that you are giving proper justification to the marking scheme. What I used to do and what I will suggest is section C or part C should be given around 90 minutes. That means around 1.5 hours. Then section B or part B should be given around 60 minutes or roughly around 1 hour. And section A or part A should be given around 30 minutes. Okay, now it's the order can be anything. You can start from part A, then part C, then part B, or you can go from part C, then B, and then A. It's all up to you. But please don't go for part B before part C. This is just a personal advice. You can definitely try your own strategy, but this is what I will suggest, because part B questions are little bit on more trickier side than part C. Okay, so going for part C first, then part B is a better way of gaining some confidence in the early time of your exam. Okay, so that's just a personal advice. It's all up to you. If you want, you can follow it, or if you don't want, you can just ignore this. Second thing is that don't waste your time. Okay, don't waste your time on single question or on single section. As I said, that you should give a proper timing to a particular section. So don't waste more time on a particular section. Don't think that okay, I'll give 2 hours for section C and then I'll give the rest of the time to B and A. That will not work. Okay, you have to divide the time and you have to be precise about questions. So let's say if you are going to do 25 questions in part C and 90 minutes, so roughly around 3.5 minutes or 4 minutes you are getting per question. So give roughly around 3 minutes per question in your part C. Okay, that should be your thing. And in part B, 2 minutes per question should be the thing which you have to do. Now, don't panic if some question is taking longer time, because generally it is averaged out. Few questions are lengthier, few questions are easier on the side. So it's not about that you have to stick to 3 minutes per question. It is just like that on an average give this to this. So let's say if a question takes, let's say 5 minutes, the other should be done in 1 minute or 2 minutes. Okay, so that's how you have to do. All in all, what I want to say is don't stuck in a particular section for longer time. 90 minutes for section C is enough. 60 minutes in section B is enough, and 30 minutes for section A is also enough. You can just play around with 5 or 10 minutes among each other, but don't stick for longer duration in a particular section. I have seen many students getting stuck in a particular section and they end up not looking upon more number of questions, not looking upon a complete question paper, and that's where they do mistake. Okay, so that is something which you should avoid. The next thing is that don't set target before starting exam. Don't think that okay, I have to do for 100 marks or I have to do for 120 marks. Don't set your target before starting the exam, because you don't know the level of the exam. If the exam become on the like tougher side, or if the exam is a little bit on the hard or in the difficulty level, if it is higher in the difficulty level, then of course the cutoff is going to go lower. And if the exam will be on the easier side, then the cutoff is going to go higher. So don't set your own targets. Don't set 110 or 100 marks or 120 marks as the target. Give your best. Okay, give the maximum number of questions which you can do in the exam. So don't set your own targets before the exam. Okay, so yeah, setting up a target in your mind just before going to the exam will be very devastating, especially if you are thinking that okay, I will do only 100 marks and then I will leave. You never know if the cutoff goes higher than 100. Okay, so don't do that. Okay, just solve as many questions as you can do. Make sure that you fulfill the number of questions in a particular section. You complete that, or like whatever you are confident about, do that many number of questions. Next thing is don't panic. Okay, it is very common to get panic about, let's say if there is a question you have studied, let's say a topic a lot more detailed, let's say organic spectroscopy, you have studied it in more detail, but when the question came in exam you are not able to do that, then of course you will get panic about it. Don't get panic. If it is difficult for you, it would be difficult for everyone around you. Okay, so don't panic about it. Just take a deep breath. Just give yourself a short break. That is what strategy most of the people do. If they get stuck in a question, or if they think that this question I knew but I'm not able to solve, I'm getting stuck in the calculation, they give around 10 to 15 seconds of break. They take a deep breath, then again try to look upon the question once again, and then they will find out that okay, there was a tiny mistake which they were doing actually. So do that. It is very effective. Okay, last but not the least, that is very important point over here, that you should go through the complete question paper. There are many students which actually don't look upon the other questions. Let's say in part C, if they started doing part C questions, initially let's say up till 30 questions they are done with their 25 questions, they will not read the rest 30 questions. You should not do like that. It is quite possible that next 30 questions they are much easier. Some questions are much easier than what you have done earlier. So go through the complete question paper. That is very, very important. Don't leave any question unread. Okay. After coming out from the examination center, you will think that, oh, this was so easy, I should have done that, and I should have replaced it with some other one. Because in part C, the most important thing or the most difficult thing in part C is to choose those magic 25 questions, those questions which are going to give you 100 marks. Those questions, choosing those 25 questions is very, very difficult. Okay. So unless and until you will go through all the questions, unless and until you know all the questions, it will be very hard to choose 25 questions among them. So please do not avoid the rest of the questions. Do go through the complete question paper for sure. So these were some of tips, some of the things which you should know before the exam, some tips which I just wanted to share with you. I hope and I pray and I wish all the best to all of you. Remember these words, that please believe in yourself. You know more than you think you do. Okay. You think that you don't know much, but in actual you know a lot of things, and you have studied a lot, right? You have prepared for this exam since a very long time. Now the time is just to execute whatever you have prepared. So you have done your preparation, and now the time is to execute it. Okay. And I believe and I know that all of you will execute it in the best form possible. So remember that I have full belief in you all. I have full faith in all of you. My best wishes are with all of you. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Wish you all the best. Give your best in the exam, and I will see you guys after the exam with the exam review and all the other things related to this. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Stay safe. All the best.